You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
The Social Action Media Network and T Radio V present Creating Good Work Live with your hosts, Ron Schultz and Greg Franks.
Well, welcome to Creating Good Work Live, where we are dedicated to bringing you the finest in social innovators and social entrepreneurs who are hard at work to solve many of our most pressing social issues. I'm Ron Schultz.
And I'm Greg Franks.
We've got a great show for you today, a wonderful show.
Yes.
And let me just say it's a bit of a special show today because both Greg and I are celebrating our birthdays this week, and actually our guest did as well. So there are 3 Geminis in here, or 6 Geminis, depending on how we count. But Greg here is, of course, my twin brother from a different mother.
Yes.
And even though we're not festooned with, happy birthday hats and all, Greg, let me be the first to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you so much, and happy birthday to you.
And happy birthday to you.
And happy
to
birthday
you.
to you, too. There you go. All right, so it's the birthday show.
Yes, it is.
So, our first guest today is Robin Shank, who is the West Coast Operations Manager for Stakeholders Capital, as well as the woman who oversees all the management and marketing and PR for the Green Business Networking, the Green Economy think tank, as well as being a research specialist for Practice Green Health, which is a nonprofit providing sustainable support to hospitals and medical research. She has formerly held positions at the Wall Street Journal, the Los Angeles Times, the Miami Herald, and the LA Weekly. And we're very pleased that Robin could join us today to talk about Green Business Networking, which recently celebrated its 10th anniversary. Amazing. As well as we're going to talk about the Green Economy think tank. And, Robin, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
So I guess the best place to begin is what is Green Business Networking, and how would you define what you're trying to do and what the mission is?
Green Business Networking was created in 2006. It was an idea in 2005. So think 10 years ago, what was happening in the industry, the world. We were going towards a global U.S. meltdown in the financial industries. And a group of guys got together and said, we really need to connect people who are starting to think outside of the box, thinking about sustainability, social entrepreneurship, and social enterprise. And so they formed an organization with the mission that we wanted to connect business owners and entrepreneurs in the green space in a safe environment where they could have discussions, conduct commerce, get to know one another, and then support each other in the green business. Mm-hmm. And so for 10 years, we've been meeting on the second Tuesday of every month, including Valentine's Day, which fell on the second Tuesday of the month 4 years ago, and I remember.
Uh-huh.
So.
Those are serious attendees.
Those are serious attendees. So.
What do you think motivates people to come out and participate in this event?
It's our events are purely networking. 3 hours you have to talk about yourself, but then you can also be quiet and let someone else talk about themselves. And so the motivation, there isn't a speaker, there isn't a panel. The motivation is really connecting and getting to know people who are kind of in your tribe, and they understand what you're trying to do. We have people from solar and energy to health to nonprofits. We have someone who has a rolling planter business who comes fairly regularly. And this is just a good way to connect with people that understand what you're dealing with, understand how you're trying to market your products, right, because you're in the sustainable or green space. And so you have something special that you want to communicate with other people about.
So what's a rolling planter?
It's Kurt up in Ventura County. Hey, this is for you. The rolling planter is this amazing portable planter that you can put, and it moves around your patio or whatever. You can move it outside. You can move it around your yard if the sun moves. And it's a very interesting product that he's selling. So check him out online.
Do they share with you all the benefits that they are receiving from participating?
We have, we've actually surveyed people to find out why they come. Why did they start coming 10 years ago, and then why do they drop off, and why do they not come? And the benefits are just the connections that they make. I had someone who's an executive director for another organization, a nonprofit, who told me just a couple months ago that she not only met her biggest sponsor at a Green Business Networking event, but she also met in March someone who sponsored her April event. And so there's a lot of really good connections that people make, and it's just a way for them to share what they're doing, and then perhaps that person that they're talking to has something that they can build on that, and they can work together. So there's a lot of shared projects that come out of our Green Business Networking events.
So over the years that this has been going on, Robin, you've kind of held this at different places, and it's kind of like the moving circus. You're never quite sure where it's going to
homeless.
Homeless.
We're homeless.
Well, it's an issue, green homelessness. Is there a specific type of organization that you're looking for, that you try to partner with, that you align with?
Well, yeah, we're homeless. We're an all-volunteer-run organization with a fiscal sponsor. And so we don't have executive directors in that. So what we do is we try to connect with businesses that would be either have something to share with our attendees, or would be kind of like-minded to ours. We had our May event at Vital Hemp in Santa Monica, which has been in business for 13 years selling hemp clothing, and as Ron Alcalay's been really kind of a pioneer in that. And this coming month in June, we're going to be at GlueMac, and it's an engineering firm that their tagline is engineering for a sustainable future. And so we'll be there, and we're partnering with the Climate Registry for this event because they want to talk about the energy upgrade program.
Right.
So we're looking for people that will or organizations that will provide something that perhaps our attendees would like to see or hear.
Yeah. You also seem to attract this endless supply of vendors who want to give you free stuff, and whether it's food or drink or products tell us a little bit about the how you go about identifying a potential vendor.
Well, we a lot of them search or reach out to us. They might have a green cleaning product, or they might have an organic chocolate elixir. And this is a way, since this is a business-to-business organization,
Right.
this is a way to get that out in front of other organizations.
Right. So are there some that you want to some of the others that you might want to call out now to help out? Some of the businesses that you guys love.
We've had a really strong supporter in Beanfields. They have been amazing supporters of us for years. Namaste Light gives us all of our web presence, and they're just amazing. We have a number of people that have supported us as sponsors over the years. Rock and Raw, which is this terrific raw chocolate and truffles.
Yummy.
And so I always like that. and then we have Effie Care Bars, and they come in. Venice Beach Salad Company was amazing for a while, and until their owner moved to North Carolina.
Right.
Providing salads, and what we try to look for is someone that would be, we have a lot of people who are vegan or vegetarian, so we try to provide them options. We also deal with people who are gluten-free, but we are not
all kinds of food issues,
but
right?
we focus on organic.
Yeah, good.
I mean, we try to keep our anything that we offer. We have people who bring green cleaning supplies, and have done that, and so. It's just a real mixed bag.
Well, we do have a brief video
Oh,
that
cool.
we can screen that'll kind of give people an idea of what this looks like. And so why don't we screen that, and we'll.
We are Pure Networking. There are some other groups around that have more of an educational or panel approach. You come in and you meet people, and that's all it is. We just provide a time and a place for green professionals to get together. These are fun events, they're lively, they're not stuffy like a lot of networking events can be.
A lot of us are really busy and getting busier and busier, so we appreciate opportunities like this to sort of sit and chat and see how people are doing, and maybe see where we can offer some help, and vice versa.
At one of these events, you get to see sort of the whole breadth of sustainability and what people are doing. So you not only get designers, you get people who own sustainable businesses, you get people who are doing sustainable foods. It's just a lot more interesting in terms of finding out what people are doing who are not designers.
I've been coming for several years. There's always a really interesting group of people, and I'm always trying to find out new things that we can do at the university, and always nice people, and it's a fun event.
This is my first time at Green Business Networking. I'm delighted that I came. I had heard about this event for many months and I was interested in coming. I will make this part of my regular monthly schedule.
So that'll give you a little idea about what's going on at Green Business Networking, at the events. So, Robin, you wanted to talk about the fellow who made this for you?
Stefan at Oneness Media is an amazing videographer, and he is doing a lot of terrific work, but he's the one who did our video for us.
Great. And so how do people find out about where the next one's going to be, since you're homeless?
Since we're homeless. We are on the web, www.greenbusinessnetworking.org. And you have to have networking because there's a greenbusinessnetwork.org.
Okay.
So.
And it's the second Tuesday.
Second Tuesday of every month. So June 14th is our next one.
Great. Well, we're going to take a little short break here, and then we're going to come back and talk to Robin about a few more things.
We'll be right back with more Creating Good Work Live.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
So where did this all begin? In 2006, a group of us friends came together, and we wanted a pure business networking experience for people committed to the green economy. We wanted to have it fun in the evening and create a space for people to really connect and maximize the quality of their relationships in a business context. So bringing us all together monthly was the best way to do that. And we feel this is the best way to create a healthy economy for our community. That's what Green Business Networking is all about.
For more information about broadcasting opportunities with CalGov TV, contact us through email at calgovtv@gmail.com.
Sustainable Law Group is a different type of law firm. Our clients are primarily social enterprises, nonprofits, and green businesses. Our mission is to provide legal counsel that is aligned with our clients' values by providing integrated, sustainable, and comprehensive solutions. We're a full-service law firm. Starting a benefit corporation, cooperative, or nonprofit, the attorneys at the Sustainable Law Group are ready to support you in all stages of your business. Find out more about Sustainable Law Group at sustainablelawyer.com.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Welcome back to Creating Good Work Live on T Radio V.
Well, we're back for our special birthday show with Robin Shank from the Green Business Networking here on Creating Good Work Live. And so, Robin, one of the other things that you guys have been doing is the Green Economy Think Tank. And I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about this very innovative approach to developing green civic economies, which I think is, it's just, they're amazing gatherings of people who are really intelligent and creative, and I shouldn't answer the question for you. I'll let you do it.
They're really innovative gatherings of people who are intelligent and creative.
I've heard that.
Now, the Green Economy think tank came out of an idea of how do we get a broader reach? How do we expand our scope? And inviting people from government, from business, from nonprofits, from academics, and inviting them for a full day of discourse on different topics. And it's not where you sit where panelists speak to you. This is where you sit in a round table or multiple round tables and talk about key issues and what can be done from a community-wide standpoint to address those issues. So the first one was 2009 in LA, and the second was in 2010 in Santa Monica. We've now done New Orleans, New York, San Francisco, a couple of other organizations I just forgot. But the idea is that we could work as a community to resolve certain issues, to identify what the problems are, and then work as a community, getting all of those different groups of people together to solve a problem.
Yeah.
So
we're not going to let you stop there because the conference has been such a wonderful experience. But would you share with us some more of the things that you've learned at those experiences?
It's
the green economy.
What we did is for example, identified 5 or 6 things that were the people in this room, 150 people, felt were critical, and things like what is the message for sustainability, and so that became media and the message. For example, capital and collaboration. How do we get funding to the organizations that need funding that may not be a business, might be a nonprofit, or might be an entrepreneur startup. We also, one of the things that came out of the Green Economy think tank was the Buy Local campaign. That was very successful. Santa Monica picked that up, and they used that in their Buy Local campaign that they literally ran with, and with all the farmers markets in Santa Monica. The Capital and Collaboration led to Greg Wentz involvement with the California Economic Summit, which is a regional collaboration to help bring innovation and funding to innovative companies in California.
Is that that's not the Milken project that he's working with?
No, that's something else.
That's something completely different.
But it's also involving financing, funding, and keeping money in organizations that are more sustainable and renewable.
So you've got this events that you've been, these green economy events, and one of the things is you have all these disparate ideas floating around this 150 people who all think they have the answers to what's going on. But you guys used a really interesting way of kind of cutting to the chase, and I wonder if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about that whole system that you used that was.
I honestly don't remember what it's called, but it's more of a multi-voting process where you brainstorm ideas and you throw them all up on the wall, and then you multi-vote into which are the most critical ones, and then you dig deeper into those.
It's all done electronically. So you have this little
and it was a really cool voting system where you got to vote for them, and then once we got down to, and we did this 3 or 4 times to get it down to, okay, if you had these choices, what would you choose? And then if you had these choices, what would you choose? And ultimately ended up with 8 different topics, which I mentioned 3 of them.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's a very interesting process of kind of identifying what the consensus was in the group of all these people who were there around different topics. And so that no one was going, no, you left me out. But it was very clear just by the way people voted with these little machines, what the consensus was. It was good.
And it really did build that. And then those, after the voting and the topics were identified, then the people in the room could self-select as to which of those topics they worked on So which one was the most interesting to them? I ended up working on a topic with talking about job creation and internships and working with schools and community colleges, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I went to the first. I'm sorry, Greg. Go ahead. No, I went to I think the first one in Santa Monica, and there were folks that I met at that I'm still talking with, and still, I mean, because they were so smart. They really were, and I really appreciate it. But okay, so we've got Green Economy Think Tank, we've got the Green Business Networking, and then we also have the Living Economy Salons. And all right, so give us an idea about what these are about, and then talk about how it all fits into this mix, how you've got this kind of complex mix that you guys have been creating.
Well, the Living Economy Salon is a speaker-driven event, and speakers are panels. And so the reason we did that is we have the Green Business Networking event, which you talk about yourself for 3 hours. We have this occasional event that we do because it's much broader and it takes a year or so to set up, which is the Green Economy Think Tank. We wanted to do something that was more personal, more kind of having a conversation, kind of like this, but bringing in people to talk about our initial ones were alternative currencies. What sort of things do some communities do instead of using money? And we did not talk about Bitcoin, but we have had a recent one where we've talked about Bitcoin. We've talked about creating good work.
Oh, look at that!
And the book we had Michael Kramer talk about the resilient investor. We had a movie screening of the movie of Money and Life. So it's a very diverse thing. It's about every 2 or 3 months. Hollis Doherty is our curator for that, and it allows us to then have a discussion more than a Green Economy Think Tank where it's a big thing, or a Green Business Networking where we don't really have that.
So how do they find out about this?
Well, go to the website. We do have our overarching website is greeneconomythinktank.org, and you'll find links to Living Economy Salon. You'll find links to Green Business Networking, and then all of our Green Economy Think Tank work.
So I think we've got one more video here, the little short clip that we'd like to screen, and then we'll come back and we'll close up this session, Robin.
I've met people here who are starting ambitious projects to do aquaculture in the inner city, some people who are putting sustainability programs together for government entities, some people who work for more traditional consulting firms and companies, and people who have come here with nothing more than interest and a dream. And I think part of the fun of this event is that all of those people are here.
It's great to come here and meet new people, hear wonderful stories about what other people are doing to make this world a better place. It gives me hope, and I love being someone who connects these people and brings them together.
Okay, we're back.
Yes, we are.
Well, I have one question,
Okay.
one last question for you. Could you tell us what's on the horizon for GBN?
Well, we've got 10 years under our belt, and we're looking at another 10 years of meeting on the second Tuesday of every month. And so our next steps, we're networking is still important, still popular, still people are still interested in it, though we are working with organizations such as the Climate Registry to talk about a program. So we'll bring them in. It's purely networking. So we do have 5-minute little commercials that we'll let them talk about that. So June 14th, come see us at GLUMAC in downtown LA. And so and we'll keep meeting every Tuesday, second Tuesday.
Thank you, Robin. I really appreciate you being with us today and supporting and Green Business Networking as you have, and bringing these opportunities to folks. And we should also give a shout out to Greg Wendt, who is also the founder of all of this, who does wonderful work in this environment. So again, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And so we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with Creating Good Work Live. Thank you all.
There's more to come on Creating Good Work Live.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
So where did this all begin? In 2006, a group of us friends came together, and we wanted a pure business networking experience for people committed to the green economy. We wanted to have it fun in the evening and create a space for people to really connect and maximize the quality of their relationships in a business context. So bringing us all together monthly was the best way to do that. And we feel this is the best way to create a healthy economy for our community. That's what Green Business Networking is all about.
Navigating sex in college is confusing enough. Now new standards are demanding affirmative consent, and no means no has become only yes means yes. Sounds simple enough until you are asked to explain it. The problem is the word consent, which is about permission for something to be done to you. But we're talking about sex, which is something you do with someone else, not to someone else. Consent is just the wrong word. It's about mutual license and mutual respect.
For more information about broadcasting opportunities with CalGov TV, contact us through email at calgovtv@gmail.com.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
And now here's Ron and Greg.
Yes, good afternoon, and we're back. Our next guest is Michael Lissack, and Michael is the executive director of the Institute for the Study of Coherence and Emergence, and the president of the American Society for Cybernetics. He's the Ice Professor of Meaning and Organizations at Tongji University, and an affiliate member of the Center for Philosophy and History of Science at Boston University. In conjunction with ICE, Michael has also developed a number of rather critical social apps, the No app and the I've Been Violated app, which we'll be speaking about with Michael today. And Michael is coming to us from his office in Salem, Massachusetts. Michael, are you there?
I am here.
Well, welcome. How are you, Michael?
It's been a long day, Ron. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're good here. So we're here to talk about these apps that you've brought to the world. And
we'll begin.
Yeah,
May
let's
I?
begin.
And good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Tell me this. Tell me about the bullying program and how the No app addresses that problem.
Okay, so much of what's gone on to date in trying to deal with bullying has focused on the idea that we need compassion and understanding for the bully to understand why they bully, and that we need bystanders to intervene. But what's really not been addressed until our app came along is trying to do the things that help break the bullying cycle. And the bullying cycle is the unfortunate fact that many people who get bullied as a kid turn around and either later in life, as still a kid or as an adult, bully other people. And it is critical that you break that cycle, and we do that by helping to empower the poor victim when they're getting bullied. What happens in the bullying cycle is that the victim has not got any sense of power, and that sense of powerlessness turns into aggravated anxieties and insecurities that turn around and make them bully other people later. Our app is designed to give the victim some sense of power by allowing them to do something to confront the bully and to make a record of what's going on. And that personal sense of empowerment is critical if the bullying cycle is to be broken.
So, Michael, how is this different from other apps that are on the market dealing with bullying?
Well, Other apps tend to focus on one of two things. They're either trying to get bystanders to intervene, or they're trying to deal with getting reports done, either to the school or to the police. But both reporting and bystander intervention don't do anything for the victim. They are doing things for third parties. And what's important, if the bullying cycle is to be broken, is to allow the victim to have some sense of empowerment so that they don't feel the anxiety and social vulnerabilities that then turn into them becoming bullies later.
So you've talked about this bullying cycle. How exactly does the No app break it?
Well, when you are on the receiving end of being bullied, when you are a victim, what happens is that you are usually getting shamed in front of a group, because most bullying happens as a group activity. The bully likes to have witnesses. And when that shaming occurs, if you have nothing that you feel you personally can do, you feel an increased sense of vulnerability and anxiety. What the No app does is gives the victim something that's in their pocket because it's on their phone. And they can turn around, and whenever they're feeling safe enough to confront the bully, give the bully a very strong no message, and make a record, a permanent record, of the fact that the bully was told no. Mm-hmm. And it is that creation of evidence that makes a big difference. But from the perspective of the victim, it's their ability to actually have control of the situation and to be able to do something.
Mm-hmm. So, how are people supposed to find this app, Michael?
Well, we're in the App Store on Apple. We're in the Google Play Store on Google. We're going to schools and school districts throughout the country and trying to emphasize the availability of the app. It's free. The whole idea is this is a tool to empower kids that are on the receiving end of being bullied, and it empowers their parents. And if we can give them a free tool, we can begin to do something to actually help break the bullying cycle.
Right. So I understand that you were just in Alabama, weren't you, for this?
The state of Alabama has endorsed us wholeheartedly, and we were speaking to most of the superintendents, and we'll be going back down there in a month. They have what they call MEGA, which is their giant teachers conference.
Right.
There should be about 6,000 teachers in attendance, and we'll be speaking at a main session, again, trying to get the word out that this is a free app that can help the students and can help the parents.
Right. So if you care about this whole problem of bullying, what can we do to help?
You can help us get the word out that there exists an app that is designed for victims, that is something that is directly usable by the victims themselves. And if you use the app, what happens is you as a victim or you as a parent are now not dependent on third parties, and you're not dependent on the school. You've got some control. So what you can do to help, get the word out. Get it downloaded for your kids. It's free. Just go to the NOAPP.org. No app. It's there, it's free, and it can help.
Right. We put up a card, Michael, so that people could find it. But one of the apps that you've got that we're not going to focus on today, but which I'd like to show a brief video about, has to do with consent. And this has to do with sexual consent. And so what we're going to do is we're going to screen this brief video as a way to at least demonstrate one of the other issues that you're dealing with.
Then you know they want a cup of tea. If you say, "Hey, would you like a cup of tea?" And they're like, I'm not really sure. Then you could make them a cup of tea, or not, but be aware they might not drink it. And if they don't drink it, then, and this is the important part, Don't make them drink it. Just because you made it doesn't mean you are entitled to watch them drink it. And if they say no thank you, then don't make them tea. At all. Just don't make them tea. Don't make them drink tea. Don't get annoyed at them for not wanting tea. They just don't want tea, okay? They might say, yes, please. That's kind of you. And then when the tea arrives, they actually don't want the tea at all. Sure, that's kind of annoying as you've gone to all the effort of making the tea, but they remain under no obligation to drink the tea. They did want tea, now they don't. Some people change their mind in the time that it takes to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk. And it's okay for people to change their mind. And you are still not entitled to watch them drink it. And if they're unconscious, don't make them tea. Unconscious people don't want tea. And they can't answer the question, do you want tea? Because they're unconscious. Okay, maybe they were conscious when you asked them if they wanted tea. And they said yes. But in the time it took you to boil the kettle, brew the tea, and add the milk, they are now unconscious. You should just put the tea down. Make sure the unconscious person is safe. And this is the important part again. Don't make them drink the tea. They said yes then, sure, but unconscious people don't want tea. If someone said yes to tea, started drinking it, and then passed out before they'd finished it, don't keep on pouring it down their throat. Take the tea away. Make sure they're safe, because unconscious people don't want tea. Trust me on this. If someone said yes to tea around your house last Saturday, that doesn't mean they want you to make them tea all the time. They don't want you to come around to their place unexpectedly and make them tea and force them to drink it going, but you wanted tea last week. Or to wake up to find you pouring tea down their throat going, but you wanted tea last night. If you can understand how completely ludicrous it is to force people to have tea when they don't want tea, and you're able to understand when people don't want tea, then how hard is it to understand it when it comes to sex? Whether it's tea or sex, consent is everything. And on that note, I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea.
So, Michael, that's one of the apps that you have has to do with consent, with sexual consent. And people, I suspect, can find out more about that at
we-consent.org. And make sure you put in the hyphen or you'll go to a place you don't want to go. So it's we-consent.org.
Very good. Well, we're going to take a brief break here, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit about the I've Been Violated app that you've produced, which is another one of these incredibly important social apps that you've done. And we'll be right back with Creating Good Work Live.
Move the back one so that it's on my face.
You're watching Creating Good Work Live on T Radio V.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
Most anti-bullying efforts rely heavily on bystanders to take action, leaving your child with no protection. The No app aims to change that. Now your child can summon the assistance of a policewoman to tell the bully no, and you get alerted in real time with a map of your child's location. With video evidence, the bully's parents can be confronted, and school officials can be forced to take action. You get increased peace of mind, and your child gets increased self-confidence.
Surviving an assault is never easy, and the questions which flow only add to the trauma. Most victims are not ready to talk right away. With I've Been Violated app, survivors can confidentially record their story simply by talking into their phone. The record they create is doubly encrypted and stored securely offline, accessible only through the proper authorities. The I've Been Violated app helps prove survivors' credibility when they are ready to seek the help they need.
For more information about broadcasting opportunities with CalGov TV, contact us through email at calgovtv@gmail.com.
You are watching T Radio V, radio in TV.
We're back with Ron and Greg.
Welcome back to our final segment, and I'd like to continue with Michael as we have begun here. And Michael, would you also give us some insight as to, now we know over the years all of the problems that we've had with sexual assault and domestic assault, and how they have been just a never-ending problem within our society. And how do you think this technology is going to make a difference?
Well, the technology can't address the primary problem, which is people assaulting one another. But what it can address is what happens afterwards. 85% of assault victims are not ready to talk to the appropriate authorities in any kind of a timely manner. And certainly we saw that most recently with the length of time it's taken for Bill Cosby's victims, for example, to come out and step forward. So if you look at the time gap, what happens is the longer that a victim waits to speak, the more that the police, doing their job, have to question the victim about their story and their credibility. What the I've Been Violated app does is it allows the victim the opportunity, again, to take control. She or he can, whenever they get to a place that they feel is safe, record a video of their story. What happened, who did it to them, anything that they want to show the camera, and then that video is locked up, offline, double encrypted, and secured until whatever point in time it is that the victim is ready to come forward. And then the police, not the victim, but the authorities can retrieve the video. So what this means is that a victim that is assaulted does not have to subject themselves as much to what is a second trauma, and the second trauma is their story and credibility being questioned, because if they use the I've Been Violated app, they have a contemporaneous record. It's available to the authorities. It can be trusted because it's got a guarded chain of evidence, and that relieves most of the credibility questions, which can so traumatize someone that's already been through a horrible trauma the first time.
So take us through the whole sexual assault scenario, if there's anything more than what you've just described.
Well, sure. Let's assume that you are the unfortunate victim of an attack. The first and most important thing is to get yourself to some place that's safe. Now, if you are ready to talk to authorities, do so. There are plenty of health officials that are able to help you. The hospital's able to help you. The police are able to help you. But the sad truth is the legal system is ugly. And what it does to the victim is not pleasant. And as a result, the vast majority of victims are not ready, especially immediately after a trauma, to subject themselves to that second trauma. So they go to a place that's safe and they retreat. If they have the app, when they go to that place that's safe and retreat, they still can privately talk to their phone. They can make an evidentiary record of what happens. And then they can use that evidentiary record later, be it a month later, 6 months later, a year later, and doing so, protect themselves from what the authorities will have to do, which is question them about why they waited, why it's taken X amount of time to come forward and tell their story. And they can say, but I made a video. Here's how you get it. It was made a couple of hours afterwards.
So how does the domestic assault scenario differ?
Well, domestic assault is actually a worse version, because what happens is most of the victims of domestic assault, it's someone they know, they're not ready to talk, and it's going to keep happening repeatedly. And only when they finally do go to the authorities can they do something to break the cycle of it happening and happening and happening. If they use the I've Been Violated app, in effect, they're making a portfolio of records of what happens. And instead of when they go to the police merely talking about the incident that just happened, again, the authorities can retrieve whatever's in this portfolio. It might be one video, it might be 5 videos, it could be 100 videos. And when they've got that evidence, that helps them deal with the perpetrator, and it helps them get the victim on the road to recovery.
So, Michael, there are other apps that have tried to deal with these problems. How is the I've Been Violated app different, and what does that mean for the potential victims that are able to use this?
Almost all of the other apps that are out there instantly summon the authorities. So if you're in the 50 apps are great. And quite frankly, if you're in that 15%, please, if you need to use one of them, use them. Get to the authorities. Get help. But if you're in the 85%, those apps don't help you. The minute you activate them, you're notifying the authorities. You're doing the very thing you didn't want to do. So our app is the only thing that lets you separate those two things. You can make an evidentiary record, keep it under your control, and only have it available when you are ready to talk to the authorities. And that's a major difference.
Yeah. So you've described how folks can help with the bullying issue. How can they help with this one?
It's much the same. Getting word out there that the app is available and it's available for free. What we want to do for students and college students is partner with schools so that we can put local resources into the app. If you are at, for example, UCLA, it would be great if when you use the app, it brought up UCLA resources. If you are in a California county, it would be great if we could partner with the local health authorities in that county so that when you pull it up, you are directed to the local resources. But either way, the app is free. It's available, again, on the App Store and on the Google Play Store. If you look for I've Been Violated, it's there. If you type I've Been Violated into a Google or a Yahoo search, you'll find it. It is free. It is intended for victims, and get it on your phone, and then God forbid you should hopefully never have to use it.
Well,
but if you do, it's there.
Yes. As a parent of daughters, I would think that this is something that would be absolutely essential. That and as a university student, or as I can think of a variety of different arenas in which this is absolutely a critical thing to be able to have.
Well, the more we can get the word out that apps like this are available, that there's something that actually directly empowers victims so that they're not dependent on third parties and they're not dependent on bystanders, and that they can at least have some measure of control of what happens to the mess that just happened to them, the more we can be helping them. And the goal is to take somebody that considers themselves a victim and turn them into someone who's willing to label themselves as a survivor. And to get to that, they need to be able to talk about what happens, and they need to be able to feel that they've got some measure of control over their situation. What we want is to empower victims so that it's horrible whatever happened to them, for the survivors of tomorrow.
Yes, that's great, Michael. Well, we'd like to thank you, Michael, for being with us today on Creating Good Work, because I think what you're doing is absolutely living up to the title of our show.
Yes.
And we wish you well with this, and folks can find these at the websites that Michael gave out earlier, the noapp.org and the no-app.
And we look forward to having you again on this show.
We would like it very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Michael. Well, that was pretty powerful stuff.
Yes, it was.
That's important, great stuff. Well, this is now the end of our show here today, and we'd like to thank you all for showing up here at Creating Good Work Live. And we're here every Wednesday at 4 p.m., coming to you live over T Radio V. And we're certainly happy to be here, and we've got some great shows coming up in the future. We'll look forward to seeing you every Wednesday.
We wish you peace until we see you again.
Creating Good Work Live is a production of the Social Action Media Network on T Radio V.
You are watching T Radio V, Radio and TV.